What's going on, guys? Welcome to We Got a Problem. So this morning, Good Morning Britain had an hour-long world-exclusive interview with US President Donald Trump. Now, during the interview, Peirs Morgan asked him about a post-Brexit trade deal and if it would involve the NHS. Now, we all know the left-wing Remoaner media have been pushing Project Fear over Brexit, with the headlines claiming a post-Brexit trade deal would include selling the NHS to America. Now, we all know, of course, this is complete nonsense. The media want to push their deranged agenda in attempts to ignore the democratic vote. So let's hear what the President had to say and then we'll go over it.
Many people see it. The Labour leader, Jeremy Corbyn, apparently wanted to see you. You declined that kind of invitation, and he spent the most of today shouting and screaming about you and protesting and saying how awful you are. There is a chance, if this goes wrong for the Conservative Party in the next few months, he could end up Prime Minister. Could you imagine actually doing a trade deal with Britain with someone like Jeremy Corbyn as a leader?
It's always possible. Anything's possible. I don't know him. He wanted to meet. It was very tough to meet and probably inappropriate to meet, to be honest with you. A lot of things are happening right now with respect to our country and your country, my country, and let's call them almost the same, because I feel that way. It's really a tremendous relationship. So I don't think it was appropriate to meet him, but I would. I certainly would. I'd have no problem with it. I think it's a long shot when you say that. You know, it's not, I don't think it's going to happen.
I love how Trump very diplomatically puts down the notion Corbyn could be the next Prime Minister. He is right. I don't think that is ever going to happen. And he also says it's not appropriate to meet Jeremy Corbyn. Now, I feel that he said that because the party is under investigation for racism and anti-Semitism, and in America that wouldn't be seen very good. You know, CNN and that would probably attack him for that, as they'll attack him for anything. Now, they then move on to the NHS, which, as I said at the start of the video, is Remoaner's current go-to scare tactic. Now, listen to what Trump has to say about the NHS and trade deals.
No leader, it seems to me, would allow Britain to effectively sell the NHS as part of a trade deal. Would you, as the American president, see that as a deal breaker if none of the NHS was on the table?
I don't see it being on the table. Somebody asked me a question today, and I say everything's up for negotiation, because everything is. But I don't see that being. That's something that I would not consider part of trade. That's not trade.
So there you have it. Straight out the gate, Trump knows the NHS wouldn't be included in any trade deals on Britain's side, so he automatically says they will not be. You know what I mean? What is the Remoaner media talking about? I could have told you this before Trump ever even said it. Like, it's obvious. No Prime Minister will ever sanction that. It would get shut down in Parliament. We can't even get Brexit across the bloody finish line. How are we going to get rid of selling the NHS? How is that going to pass through Parliament? Think about it. I mean, I called it out from the very beginning. The start of their scaremongering campaign about the NHS being sold off, I said from day dot, never going to happen. But what are they going to do now? What is the Remoaner media and liberal dumbfucks actually going to use to scare the public now into trying to get rid of Brexit? They want to revoke Article 50. They want to keep us in the European Union. What's their next tactic going to be now they can't use the NHS since Trump has just rubbished that? And I mean, Theresa May rubbished it technically yesterday, but, you know, it's always good to hear Trump say it because Trump's the other side of the negotiating table. You know, you can say no to something. Unlike the EU with Brexit, you can't say no, you've got to do what we want. And if you're Theresa May and so far the Conservative Party, you do what you're told like a good little bitch, don't you?
I will say this. Your next Prime Minister, whoever it may be, that's going to be a very important... You're in a very interesting moment in your country's history. Your next, and I was saying to the Queen last night, the choice of your next Prime Minister is a very important choice.
Prince Charles,
you really have to get it right.
Prince Charles, I'm told, is veering pro-Brexit now. Did he give you that sentiment?
He really is. He really wants to be, and he's openly non-political. The family is non-political. They want to be. They have to be. I think they have to be. I think it's pretty hard for them to go political, right? But he feels you have a lot of good choices. I do too. I think you really do have a lot of good choices. I think it's very important that you get it right.
So Peirs asked Trump about the rumour Prince Charles is a Brexiteer now, and Trump rightly states, as he should, the royals have to be apolitical. But if we don't agree on a Brexit by October the 31st and actually get it to happen, then I feel that the Queen maybe should step in to instruct Parliament to make Brexit happen regardless of deal or no deal. She holds the actual power to do it. I mean, shit, our Queen could roll into the Houses of Parliament, go full Henry VIII on every single member of Parliament in there, and never even be arrested for it. But she ain't obviously going to do that because she ain't Henry VIII. She don't go around lobbing off heads. Maybe the Queen should instruct Parliament to listen to the people. I mean, the people voted in a referendum that Parliament put forward. So why has it not been enacted upon? Why are we delaying it? I mean, I still think there's a good chance they're going to try and delay it again. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. So maybe the Queen does need to step up. Maybe we do need to get her to actually step in and tell these people, you know what, you need to do what the people have said. You govern in the people's name, not in the interest of your own personal gain, which is all they care about, in my opinion. They only care about keeping themselves rich.
Diplomacy is what I think.
This is a guy
who's run his own multi-billion-dollar business with 30,000 employees for 5 decades. He never had to answer to anybody. Suddenly, he's the President of the United States, and he doesn't really comprehend, I don't think, what being presidential really means. This trip, for the first time, really, he's barely put a foot wrong. He's behaved in the way that most people would like their presidents to behave.
And you offered him a great opportunity to knock Jeremy Corbyn straight between the eyes, and he declined it. He was diplomatic about it when he clearly thinks Corbyn is a pygmy, and he's right, because he boycotted the state banquet, he went on the protest, and then we find out he tried to get a private meeting with the president.
I think he should have met Corbyn. He likes to meet people who agree with him, not people who challenge him. I think the two errors he's made. One is not meeting Corbyn and meeting so many people on the right.
So Peirs talks about how Donald Trump has acted in front of the royals. But Peirs should also remember, and Peirs does know this, that Trump is actually half English. His mother, well, not half English, he's half British. His mother is Scottish. And his mother was a lover of the royals, as he says earlier in the interview, the part I haven't shown, because he's just talking about his mother in that one. But Trump actually has respect for the royals, passed down to him from his parents. He watched the coronation of the Queen when she was coronated, so he has respect for her. So he was never going to come over here and act like an idiot. You know what I mean? He come over here and told Khan about himself, but that's because Sadiq Khan's a fucking idiot. That's what happens, you know what I mean? Sadiq Khan tried to smear him the day before, called him a fascist, called his supporters a fascist. So Trump come out and pointed out some facts, that he's absolutely useless, he's short, knife crimes up, he should focus on that. There's nothing wrong with that in the slightest. But once again, we get old comrade Corbyn brought up, and how Peirs Morgan opened up the opportunity for Trump to destroy him, and he didn't. That's because Trump did it on the press conference yesterday. When Trump put out that Corbyn had asked to meet him and Trump rejected it, that destroyed any credibility that Corbyn had, and he didn't have very much. So then we hear from the progressive idiot Kevin Maguire. He naturally tries to defend the commie cum stain that is Jeremy Corbyn, while complaining Trump met right-leaning politicians. Well, left-wing nutjobs attack him, so what did you expect? Right, so that's going to be the end of the video, guys. Let me know what you think about it. I mean, we all knew that the NHS was never going to be sold off, but they had to try and push it out there as best they could. I'm glad Trump's come out and pointed out that it's nonsense and that was never going to be part of the trade deal. He just said everything's on the table. Don't forget to like and share the video, as it helps a lot, guys, and I'll catch you all in the next video.
Man's gonna kill this shit, you'll need SWAT and medics too. Off with the contract credits due. Punchline king, I'm ahead of you. A your knees where you're heading to. Whip is green but the lights are blue. Bars are shit, take the mic from you. Heating up cheese, I don't like fondue.